Okay, so you probably have heard this one before. An aging, brilliant artist near the end of his life decides to make a movie that will sum up pretty much everything he thinks about power and people who hold on to the ways of the past, or the power brokers who are determined not to change the present, in opposition to a single man of genius who sees a future, a very revolutionary future that will be better for people. And it's about that struggle. And the movie, because it's, this is something that this guy's been thinking about for a long time, because the movie is so didactic in a way, basically pitting philosophical stances against each other. The characters come across more as spokespeople for their various stances than fully fleshed characters. And in fact, they're directed to be fairly over the top, fairly extreme. And the movie has a tremendous visual sense, tons of visual effects, and it's really one of a kind. Now, you might think I'm talking about Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis, but actually, I'm talking about H.G. Wells' 1936 masterpiece, Things to Come, which if you type Things to Come in the Mr. Sci-Fi search bar, you can actually watch it in its entirety on my channel here. But the point I'm trying to make is that Coppola's not the first one to go down this road. And it also has influences from many various items in the past, including Things to Come, but also The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand, which is about a brilliant architect who everyone opposes, and yet he's right, and a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, there's some little bit of Robert Moses, the guy who remade New York, and so forth. But here's my basic thought. I saw the movie, of course, and I liked it. It's not going to be one of my favorites, but I appreciated it and I valued it. He put $120 million or more of his own money into this movie. It's a passion project. But I think a lot of the people who've been reacting negatively to it are wrong. Because I think that anytime you say to someone, this project is a piece of shit, or it should never have been made, or the plot makes no sense, none of those things are true. First of all, anytime a film is made with passion, whether it succeeds or fails, it's worth the attempt. In art, there's no guarantees, and the more you try to come up with an individual statement and not fall into formula, you're on thin ice. It's easier to have the ice crack and fall into the water and so forth. But that's not what Megalopolis is. It's a visually fantastic movie with an amazing cast who are doing exactly what their director has asked them to do. And so, Aubrey Plaza, Adam Driver, all these other wonderful actors, Giancarlo Esposito, they're doing what they've been asked to do. And the plot is not difficult. It's a super simple and straightforward plot, which is basically a guy, it's how I described it at the beginning. It's a man who has a vision for the future of his city and his empire, which is a mashup of the American and the Roman empires. and he has the forces against him of all those who would want to keep the status quo, hang on to the past, and so forth. And some people get confused by he has the ability to stop time at various points in the movie. And, Ray Bradbury was one of my mentors, and he talked to me a lot about metaphor and the fact that was his art form, was working in metaphor. And so in Coppola, it's not oblique. Coppola actually says it overtly that when you're an artist, your art stops time. Any movie, any book, any TV show, any piece of music, etc., any poem, it stops time. It's you saying, this is where I was at this moment, and this is what I think about the world and my life and my place in it. So that's what I would say about this film. I think a lot of heart and soul went into it. A lot of amazing things are in it. Also, by the way, another thing that's bugged me is, people keep saying, well, it's not Apocalypse Now, it's not, The Godfather. Well, no, it's not. And those are set much more in reality. Apocalypse Now, you could argue that it, veers off that road at various points. But what what really is being done stylistically here is much closer to the later Fellini, when Fellini was basically a fabulist and he was dealing with sort of, it's like an over-rich meal. There's so much imagery and so many different characters and so much happening. And so we're looking at that kind of an influence. And yes, it's not like what Coppola's done before, but that's a good thing. Anyway, you know, go see it, judge for yourself. But just be aware that a lot of the negative comments are people who, you know, when you read a book, you say, well, it doesn't have to be the same as all the other books I've ever read. It can be different if it's good or if it's passionate. Or, you know, you take away from it what you will. So if you come into this with the notion of, I will let it be what it is, I will take it at the value it's presented, then I think you'll have a good time. So anyway, that's about it for now. Thanks, guys, and we'll talk really soon. Bye.